Continuing with Chapter 12, Statistics, we're going to look at Section 12.3, Measures of Dispersion. The objectives: determine the range for a data set and determine the standard deviation for a data set. First, range. Range is used to describe the spread of data items in a data set. Two of the most common measures of dispersion are range and standard deviation. Range is the difference between the highest and the lowest data values in a data set. Example: Honolulu's hottest day is 89 degrees and its coolest day is 61 degrees. The range in temperature is 89 minus 61, which is 28 degrees. Example 1, computing the range. The figure at the right shows the age of the 4 oldest U.S. presidents at the start of their first term. Find the age range for the 4 oldest presidents. Well, looking at the chart, you see that the oldest president is 70 and the youngest one 65. So 70 minus 65 is 5. That is a range. Example 2. Preparing to find the standard deviation, finding deviations from the mean. Find the deviations from the mean for the 5 data items 70, 69, 68, and 65, referring back to the previous example. First, we calculate the mean, which is the sum of the numbers divided by the number of numbers. So it would be 70 plus 69 plus 68 plus 65 divided by 4, which is 68. Next in our chart, we list our data items. So the deviation is going to be the data item minus the mean. For the data item 7, the deviation is going to be 70 minus 68, which is 2. Next, 69 minus 68 is 1. 68 minus 68 is 0. And 65 minus 68 is a negative 3. Be sure and put negatives in there if they happen. Computing the standard deviation for a data set. You find the mean of the data items, which we just did. Find the deviation of each data item from the mean, data item minus mean. Then you square each deviation. Find the sum of the squared deviations. Divide the sum in step 4 by n minus 1, where n represents the number of data items. And then take the square root of the quotient in step 5. This value is the standard deviation for the data set. Example 3, computing the standard deviation. We want to find the standard deviation of the ages of the 4 presidents. In step 1, we found the mean to be 68. Step 2, find the deviation of each data item from the mean. We did this on a previous slide, which is repeated on this slide. Steps 3 and 4, we square each deviation. 2 squared is 4, 1 squared is 1, 0 squared is 0, and negative 3 squared is a positive 9. We then find the totals for the deviations and the deviations squared. Step 5, divide the sum in step 4 by n minus 1, where n represents the number of data items. In this case, the data items number of data items is 4, so we're going to use 3. The summation for the numerator is going to be 14. 14 divided by 3 is approximately 4.67. Step 6, the standard deviation is the square root of the quotient in the previous step, so we're going to take the square root of 4.67, which is approximately 2.16. And that concludes this relatively short section.